What's up, everybody? Happy Labor Day. If you're celebrating this, if you're at work, still happy Labor Day. I hope you guys are having a good day, eating all the barbecue. Whatever you guys are doing, do it to the best of the day. Okay. We're back with All of the Queen's Men, season 4, episode 15. All eyes on me, y'all. I feel like I've been going forever because I've been wanting to get up and do the videos, but I'm not gonna hold y'all. I got a little lazy this weekend, and all I did was rest. And I realized that I have been extremely tired. So I've really been catching up on a whole bunch of rest. But I will let y'all know this: I did the notes and everything Thursday. I just was so exhausted that I just rest, and I had things going on. So let me apologize for my tardiness, for being tardy for the party. Okay. Anyway, episode 4, I did say that, episode 15, All Eyes on Me. So the episode picks up at the courtroom, and y'all know Madam wanted to get on the stand, so she's on the stand. So listen, the fact that when she got on the stand, everybody was clapping like she was going down the aisle as a contestant at The Price is Right, and I'm just looking like this lady is a whole criminal, and she get all the respect all across the board. I just want to ask y'all a question though. Do y'all think that she's gonna go to jail? Because personally, I don't think she's gonna go to jail. I don't see it. I don't know how she's gonna finagle this though, but I don't think she's gonna be found guilty. Like, I don't know. Anyway, y'all know she got up on the stand crying and singing and performing and lying. I mean, she didn't lie. She did not lie. She actually admitted to unaliving people for what's his name? For concierge. I was like, I feel like she just incriminated herself. Like, I feel like how I feel like this is what I think. Even though she just incriminated herself on the stand, I still think she's gonna get out of this somehow. I don't know how, but I just feel like she's gonna get up out of this. So y'all, we gonna see. I can't even hold y'all. I would like to say justice for Madam Low Key, but that would make me toxic. But justice for Madam, okay? So y'all, let's talk about the unhoused, Mr. Babyface. So Babyface is childish, of course. His priorities are definitely out of order, and he absolutely relies on his body, his face, and his peen to get him far in life. Y'all, the fact that he can go spend money on a haircut, an outfit, and all of the things to keep himself looking well, but you don't want to get you an apartment. And I don't think it's even the fact of I can't get an apartment. He does not want to be responsible for that. Now, I don't know how many kids he got. I thought in season 1 he went to child support court for like 1 kid or something. But I don't like Babyface, and I feel like if this is his fall of grace, I'm not mad at it. I don't feel sorry for him. I'm just not mad at it, and that's why I stand with it, y'all. I know everybody different, and I know everybody's opinion is different, and that is okay. But for me, he is a old prick, and he's mean AF, and I just can't. I can't have sympathy for him. So Fuego get a text from the mystery person, whoever that is that's flying the drones around Fuego. He's getting a text message from said person. So he showed Big D, and he was like, well, what are we gonna do? Big D was like, they ain't text me. I was like, but you was all for me, you was all down for the cause for whatever Fuego had, and you was 10 toes down. But now that they not texting you, you wanna keep yourself complicit at this point. Okay. So I don't know who it is, but they really playing on Fuego's, like they really playing with Fuego's mind. So we get over to Maddie B's, and we see Trifling Tony sitting with Jean's attorney, and Y'all know, y'all see her sitting there with all that fake crying and lying and just all out performing about a man that she barely even knows. Well, come to find out, Gene put Tony in his will, and I was like, girl, how did you do that, girl? She's so conniving. I don't know what she did. So the attorney thought it was pretty odd for Gene to do that, seeing that Gene always had a conversation with his attorney and notify his attorney for every change. So I guess she's gonna get his whatever he have in his will, his ownership of his club. I don't know, money or whatever it is. She's gonna now get it. So Midnight and Amp head over to the police station to give Detective Davis the confession that Crazy Renee, set up about the graping, the false accusations of rape against Midnight. I think at this point he wants them to drop the charges, but I really don't think Detective Davis did anything with that piece of evidence. We need more police in there, because I feel like Detective Davis is the only one that's there. Like, that's crazy to me, but whatever. So Babyface goes over to Nasty Tandy house, right? His key doesn't work, so just to get all the niceties out the way, she threw him out and put Quincy in. And again, I don't feel sorry for I'm about to call him Quincy. I don't feel sorry for Babyface, because you just make way too much money to not have your own place, and for him to have an attitude the way he does, he should definitely have his own place, right? And he just can't keep using his peen to get by. But see, Tandy, her nasty ass. Let me tell y'all, I don't like Babyface, but I don't like Tandy, because Tandy ain't shit. Okay, she just threw the man out. Not that she owe him anything, because that's not his house, that's hers. But she done threw the man out, left him destitute. That hoe gonna mess around and catch the clap. Okay, like, Tandy nasty ass. Tandy is nasty, but I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm not thought shaming. Y'all know Miss Tandy nasty. She lived for whole shit. Okay, and that's just what she was like that when she was married, because that's what her and her husband was doing before he was unalive, by Ray Sean. Anyway, next scene, Detective Davis has an informant who is a pedophile, a drug dealing pedophile, ignorant ass drug dealing ass pedophile. She sent him to be locked up, but before he got locked up, he told her that he sold PCP to Doc and sold drugs to Midnight. Now, I'm not sure if it was PCP, but y'all know Midnight do a little ski sloping. We've seen him do that. So she called Naima to tell her that you might have been right. You've been right about Doc. And she still decided to lock up the drug dealing pedo informant. So y'all, we wrapping things up over at the courthouse, and Madam is really sunning Attorney Lovett. Like, what's her name? The prosecution ended up resting, and then he didn't have nothing to say after the prosecution. After the prosecutors did their thing. So he walking downstairs, she just really sunning him at this point. I hope that this, even with a wing and a prayer, if Madam get off on this, I hope that Lovett is still able to keep his life. Like, because Madam, she is thoroughly pissed off. Like, with her, you cannot just say no. You can't. Things that you can't do, you can't say, you didn't try. Like, that's not an option for her. So y'all know Doc. Next scene, Doc is in the park getting ready to do his run. Trouble sees him, walk up to him. They have a little chit chat before they start to run. And so Trouble saw a picture down on the ground, and he was like, man, you out here raping snitches or whatever? And he was like, no, I did that for Madam. And he was like, all right, no questions asked. And so if you go back to my last season, this season, y'all know Doc is my man, my man, my man. But if we can put all of that aside, Doc moves like Doc is the dumb jock. Like Doc is the dummy. And he moves like he don't have the good sense that God gave him. He's beautiful, but sometimes I feel like he a little delayed. Like I love when I have to do an observation on Doc, I feel like sometimes he can be a little delayed. Like I need you to, and he's soft. Like he's not like Midnight. Like Midnight is smooth, and he be ready for stuff to pop off. But when something pop off in Doc's world, he start to shake like booty meat and act like he don't know how to move. Like you've been working with Madam far too long for you not to move in a certain manner. Like that's all I just wanted to say about Doc. So we over at the therapy appointment with Dr. Cabrera and Belinda. Okay. So Blue isn't having any more PTSD episodes. She tells Dr. Cabrera that this is her last session and that Dr. Cabrera knew too much. And this is when I told y'all last week, I said when Dr. Cabrera asked Blue, are you attracted to your boss because she is beautiful? When I said that, I was like, how do you know that? And that's what Blue was talking about. You was like, how do you know? Basically, how do you know how attractive my boss is? So Dr. Cabrera was like, she admitted that she did some research. So, Blue was like, I got to unalive you. Now I got to cut you. Okay? So, I told y'all. So Blue was like, listen, I'm going to protect Madam and Eden at all costs with my life. And she do it with no apologies. And for that, I'm not never mad at Blue. And she thanks Dr. Cabrera. Dr. Cabrera is crying for her life. And that's it. All you see is red paint on the wall. That's supposed to be blood, but it looked like red paint. Y'all, I'm starting to notice a little bit too much. That's why I really need a high definition TV so I can see everything. Okay? So, next scene, Dime. Well, we all know Dime was pregnant. And she just looking at the test, Amp comes in, hugs her, kisses her, she hides the pregnancy test. She looks at it and she starts to cry and laugh. And I was like, y'all know how in some of those horror movies they have like that sinister music? That's what was happening when Dime was crying and laughing. It was almost like sinister music. But I don't think it was her cry and laugh was in a crazy way. Like I think she was happy she was pregnant. But the tears came from, I don't know who my baby daddy is. So it's more like I'm in a panic. Like I'm happy, but I'm in a panic. Anyway, Tommy and Madam finally rolled up on Blue. Blue knew the whole time Tommy was following her. Blue didn't want to tell Madam, why she was moving the way she was moving. So Madam was like, listen, that makes me feel uneasy. So Blue ended up confessing, listen, I had to go see a therapist. And Blue was embarrassed. And I knew that. And I want to say I said that couple previews ago. She didn't say it because she's embarrassed. It's Blue. Blue is this hard shell. She never want to come outside of the hard shell. Madam told her it's nothing wrong with you getting help, because at first Madam was like, it's nothing wrong with getting help, and Blue was like, pot meet kettle, and then she was like, well, it's nothing wrong with you seeing a therapist. So Madam was like, listen, what does she know, and do we need to have a chit chat with the therapist? So Blue was like, well, unfortunately, my therapist passed away. And they already knew Blue had to unalive her. But this was my question, y'all. And stuff just be circling in my head. We would easily find out that Blue probably was the one that unalived her, because Blue was the last patient that she saw. It might have been in the book. Like it might have been in her notes. When you open her notes, you'll probably see whatever she left off writing about Blue, and you can check in her calendar to see that she had a session with Blue. I'm like, I don't know if production, I mean not production, if the writers are going to just kind of let this play out and not show nothing else, or will we revisit this next season? I don't know. But sorry y'all, over at the club, Midnight doing his thing, dancing with this woman, and then in come Renee trying to stop Midnight's money, and y'all know that do not sit well with Madam. She was like, I don't want you dancing in the club, and I'm just looking at Renee like, girl. Anyway, Face, what's his name, Trouble, walked in on Face shaving, and he was like, what you doing? You acting like you homeless, yada yada yada. So all the men started walking in the club. They like, well, what's going on? So he tried to lie about him not living with Miss Tandy no more. They already knew you don't live with her no more. She kicked you out. You got somewhere to go. So y'all, he lying, talking about, yeah, I'm good, I met this woman. Midnight literally clocked him like, yeah, you ain't got no woman, you tripping. So Trouble was like, listen, the new term that they use is unhoused. So Babyface, I'm sorry y'all, just in my opinion, Babyface is a mean ass, irresponsible ass loser, conniving ass, who is just used to, who's used to using women to get what he want. Again, I remember her name this time. Miss Patty was the last lady he used, and he was living with Miss Patty until Miss Patty threw him out, and then him and Miss Patty got into it, and I remember he unalived Miss Patty because she didn't want him to go, but he ended up leaving anyway. So I feel like in this moment, as I stated earlier, Babyface is getting everything he deserved, and I don't feel sorry for him. So Madam calls Amp in her office to tell Amp, his mama was trying to steal a club from her along with Jean, and that she really was a greedy ass backstabber trick who didn't come to mend a relationship with Amp, but to take whatever she can get from Madam. So Amp, she tells Amp that Doc overheard the conversation between Tony and Jean, and that Amp gets emotional and he starts to cry, because he thought he had a moment where he thought his mama was being solid, but she really wasn't. I actually thought low key trifling ass Tony was being solid, but because it didn't make sense. Like, I knew she wanted to take Madam's club. I just never got that she didn't want to rebuild a relationship with Amp until Amp went to visit her. Like, I guess that was a mishap on the writers. I don't know. It was odd to me. So I'm just hoping that he don't relapse. Like, that was my whole thing. I was thinking like something devastating don't make him relapse, because Amp is doing really, really good. So Babyface walks in the office and had the nerve to ask Madam for a loan. First, he tried to compliment her, was like, your hair is beautiful. She was like, you don't never compliment me on my hair. Like, nigga, what you want? And so, he was telling her, he don't live with Miss Tandy anymore, and that he wanted to know if he can get a loan. He told her that child support is taking all his money, and she was like, but child support is your only bill. So, and you make way too much money for you to come to me for a loan. And she said, even and if I give you the money, all you're gonna do is waste it. So basically, you need to figure it out. You a grown ass man. Like, how is it? So when he told her, child support taking my money, she was like, but I pay you way too much money. He was like, but it takes a lot. So here's the thing. You're going to have to start cutting your own hair. you're gonna have to trade that pretty little car. And if that's not Tandy's car, because I'm pretty sure Tandy is a smart enough woman to put that car in her name and take it back. That's what I think. I guess the gym, you're gonna have to cancel your gym membership. What else? I guess whatever, all the things that he get done to his body to stay fit and trim, sir, you're gonna have to cancel all of that. And you gonna have to pay your child. Like, how many kids do you have and you not paying child support for Quincy? Like, how many kids do you have? I from my understanding, I just assume, this is a bad assumption, I assume that he had one kid. I want to say, I heard someone say he had like more than one kid. Well, now I know that he have two. It's Quincy. So after everybody's asking Babyface, is he good? But his pride, of course, and his ego wouldn't allow him to be honest with everybody. Because I knew somebody was going to offer him up a place to stay. But I would have told that little raggedy ass, mean ass nigga, you better go to the Motel 6 where they leave the light on for you. Because, sir. So Trouble noticed him sleeping in a car. And again, I don't feel sorry for him. So Trouble was like, listen, you can come, crash on my couch. And so he told her, no, I wouldn't be caught sleeping in that dirty ass couch. Nigga, you sleeping in your car. She got somewhere to keep her warm at night. You have to sleep uncomfortably in your car. So she cussed him out and called him homeless and left. And I would have did the same thing. So Amp goes to Maddie B's to go confront Tony. And she tried to call herself smoothing things over with Amp at first. But Amp at this point ain't trying to hear it. So Tony was like, well, I deserve Eden. If I hadn't raised you, I would have been just as successful as Madam. And I was like, well, why would you say that? Like, that is so hurtful. She's so Amp, she sacrificed everything for him. Amp didn't ask you to bring him here. You brought Amp here. No matter how much you try to slice it and dice it, you opened your legs and you brought this man in this world. Sorry, not sorry. Like, but you want to make him, responsible for you not being successful. No, you did that. Whatever it was, I don't know what was going on with this husband of yours, but you did that. No, it was all you, not Amp. So, that pissed me off because I'm sorry, y'all, let me just say this. I don't like when you have people out there who never tell you how they really, really feel about stuff. And all of a sudden, you hear somebody say, I sacrificed this for you. I did this for you. Well, I didn't ask you to do all of this for me. You did it because you wanted to do it. But then when there's what I call him, a mad day bitch. Okay, so when mad day come, you ready to throw it in somebody's face. That's crazy to me. And for a mother to do it to their child, that is even more crazy to me. Anyway, Doc is back on his, go back to the park. He see Naima passing out those flyers with his face on it. And she was like, I'm going to go pass these out at Eden. And I was like, girl, you sure about that? Because you going to come up missing. Like, you passing these flyers out to Eden. And I felt bad because she did get, he did put something in that girl drink. Like, I don't know. But he was telling her, listen, that's not what you want to do. But, you know what? Let Naima do whatever she gonna do. So Frank Wilmot stops by Madam at the courthouse looking for Lola. Y'all know that's Lola's husband. And now I don't think he stopped looking for Madam, but he confronted Madam at the courthouse looking for Lola. And I'm just like, did you go to the police? Like, what did you do at first? What was the first thing you did before you actually went to Madam? Because technically, Madam didn't murder. Well, she low-key did. She made a call to have her unalived. So technically, you kind of did. But, he everybody thinks Madam did it. And she did, but she didn't. She didn't do the act. She physically did it, but she made a phone call. So back over at Amp and Dime's, Dime is trying to rehearse how to tell Amp that she's pregnant, but the baby may not be his. And then Amp walk in the door. Now, we didn't see Amp walk in the door, but as she was saying it, I want to think that Amp walked in and heard everything because her back was turned. And I don't know. I feel like that's what happened, but we just gonna go along with it that he didn't hear it. He walked in the door and he told her what was happening with Tony and he needed some time alone. Anyway, Carla standing outside looking like she real nervous. Like, I was like, is she on something? Like, what's wrong with her? And she acted like she wanted to build a relationship with Tony. She was like, oh, let's go ride to the old neighborhood. And then she put a gun to her head and knocked her out with the gun. And that's where the episode ended. I was like, okay. All right. Listen. Y'all, let me know in the comments what y'all think about this episode. About Amp and Dime, about Trouble. I mean, I'm sorry, not Trouble. Babyface and all his troubles that he going through. Do y'all feel sorry for him or not? Do y'all think Naima need to go to Eden and pass out these flyers? What y'all think gonna happen to her? Renee? Like, they really acting like birds at this point. Did Amp overhear Dime talking to herself? Do y'all think Amp is going to revert back to the bottle? Let me see, who else am I missing? Oh, and what y'all think gonna happen to Madam? Like, do y'all think she's going to be convicted or not? All right. If you have not, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.